Good morning, folks. It's your old Uncle Jason here, serving you up some spiritual breakfast from Our Daily Bread. So let's get into it, shall we? Today's Bible reading for Monday, June 24th, 2024, is taken from the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verses 18 through 21. And all the people saw the thunderings and the lightnings and the noise of the trumpet and the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they removed and stood afar off. And they said unto Moses, Speak thou with us, and we will hear. But let not God speak with us, lest we die. And Moses said unto the people, Fear not, for God is come to prove you, and that his fear may be before your faces, that ye sin not. And the people stood afar off, and Moses drew near unto the thick darkness where God was. Some heavy word right there, folks. The article today, entitled In Awe of God, was written by Kenneth Peterson. Aphophobia is described as irrational fear of certain things or situations. Arachnophobia is a fear of spiders, though some might argue that is a perfectly rational thing to be afraid of. And then there's globophobia, and I'm not sure how to pronounce that. It's spelled XOCOLATOPHOBIA. Zochlophobia, I believe it's called. These are some of 400 other phobias are real and documented. It seems we can become afraid of most anything. The Bible tells us of the Israelites' fear after receiving the Ten Commandments. When the people saw the thunder and lightning, they trembled with fear. Moses comforted them, offering the most interesting statement: Do not be afraid. God has come to test you, so that the fear of God will be with you. Moses seemed to contradict himself. Do not be afraid. In fact, the Hebrew word for fear contains at least two meanings: a trembling terror of something, or a reverent awe of God. We may laugh to learn that globophobia is the fear of balloons, and zochlophobia is the fear of chocolate. The more serious bottom line about phobias is that we can be afraid of all kinds of things. Fear creeps into our lives like spiders, and the world can be a scary place. As we struggle with phobias and fears, we do well to be reminded that our God is an awesome God, offering us his present comfort in the midst of the darkness. And I gotta tell you, folks, if you study the biblical image of what an angel looks like and what an angel actually is, you'll understand why they had to say, Fear not, do not be afraid. Because it's them angels, they're scary beings, powerful, but they're scary. They're not like the ones that we all seen all our lives, the ones that are, humanoid and all nice and friendly like. Several different types of angels, and I assure you that each one is different from the last, but I encourage you to go and look them up. God himself, there's only several people in the Bible that have seen God, and every single one of them did not see him in his full glory. Even whenever Moses requested to see him in his full glory, the only thing that he saw was God's back. And then his face shone as if it was staring into the sun. So he is a holy God. Sin cannot stand in his presence. That's why every sin must be confessed and must be judged. That's why it's imperative that you be honest with God and approach him with reverence, even though you can approach the throne boldly. it's highly recommended that you understand who God is and what He's capable of doing and the significance of the gift of salvation that He so freely gives us. That's why it's important that we get in the Word and study it. So how are we supposed to know if you don't get in the Word? How are you supposed to grow if you don't get into church? Faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the Word of God. So I encourage you today to approach each and every single situation with a reverence towards God, because He is the provider of all things. He wants you to trust Him in all things. Trust not in riches, as we learned yesterday, but trust in Him. He owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. And if any person or anybody wrongs you, you're to pray for that person. You're to forgive that person. And you're to give them to the living God. Because it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living God. That's your spiritual breakfast for today, folks. And I encourage you to have a second helping. To rewatch this video, get it in your spirit, and ponder it throughout the day. That way it sticks to your ribs, as they used to say back in my day. So until we meet again, folks, stay safe, stay blessed, and as always, stay in the shadow of the Almighty. This is your old Uncle Jason, signing off.